Asia LaShelle here, and I'm back with another video. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create web banners like Fashion Nova. I was inspired to do this one because my previous video where I showed you guys how to fake a photo shoot, I asked you guys if you were interested in me teaching you how to make the web banners, and plenty of people said yes. So I decided to do that. But the inspiration I took from those banners came from Fashion Nova. I feel no ways about kind of like taking the style from them, because they literally take styles from designers all the time, and literally just found out that the owner of Fashion Nova just bought a $140 million mansion called The One. So I feel no ways at all about showing you guys how to take a little bit from Fashion Nova, because if you were like me, you have given Fashion Nova plenty of your coin, and if you can take some of their sauce and implement it into your marketing campaign and help you get a little bit of your money back, then I think we're good. Okay, so right now they're having their spring fever event. I'm on the Fashion Nova Curve tab, and I was inspired by these top two banners, this one here and this one here. So that's what we are going to be recreating today. Okay, so I'm going to speed this video up. We're going to head over to Canva, and you guys can watch me work. I will voice over, I'll chime in as needed, but this is really going to be a watch me work, and I'll guide you through some of the key points of creating the design. All right, y'all. So we are back inside of Canva, and as you can see, this is what I have come up with for the banners that are similar, very, very similar, and have very similar vibes to what Fashion Nova is currently doing on their website. Now, everybody always asks me the dimensions of this template. It's 2,000 by 850 pixels. 2,000 by 850 pixels. This video is only going to be talking about how I created the banners. I am not talking about how I got the pictures to look how they look, where I got the pictures from. If you want to know how to get your stock photos to look as if you've had a photo shoot, then watch my previous video on how to fake a photo shoot. I will link it here. I'll also put it in the description below. That way you can figure out and learn how to get your stock photos to look like you had a photo shoot on set somewhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is just add a page and move it on up so I can start recreating this design here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over to Elements, and I am going to search for gradients. And I'm going to click on graphics. What you'll see is all, so it'll show you the gradient for photos, graphics, video, and I don't know if there's a such thing as audio gradients, but what you want are graphics, because photos, even though the gradients pop up here, they are not editable because they're actual picture, but graphics give you the ability to actually change the gradient yourself. So like this one, you see it's a blend of these two colors. So I can actually come in here and I can change, and I'm just clicking on this so I can get the colors to pop up. So now that I come in here, here we go. There goes that pink. And then here goes that yellow. All right. So now that I've changed it around, all I'm going to do is turn this at a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to drag this out, and I'm going to drag it out past halfway. Okay. And then once I have it in place, I'm going to lock it. Okay. And that just keeps things from going all over the place as you're designing. So yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here to Elements, and I'm going to just clear this out, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to go into Grid or Grids, and I'm just going to click on the square grid, and I'm going to drag it over to this point. Okay. And for right now, I'm going to lock it because I don't want anything that I try to layer on top of it to go inside of the grid. Because if you try to put stuff on top of a grid unlocked, things will drop into it. I don't want that to happen. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go into frames. So inside of frames, what I'm going to search for is film, because what I'm looking for is a film strip like this, right? So I'm searching for film, and I want to say the white one that I used is here. Here it is. So I'm just going to size this up, make it larger. I'm not worried about making this like an exact duplicate of what I already did. I just want to give you guys the gist of how to make this happen. Okay, I think we're almost at the right size. Yeah, we're just about it right there. So that's good. I'm going to lock this for right now as well, for the same reasons, because it has this little, like anytime in Canva you see this little open little picture thing, that means that pictures can be dropped into it. So if you drag anything on top of it, it will go inside of it, and you don't want that to happen, not yet. So I'm going to lock it for the time being. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search for, in Elements again, we're going to search for shadows. So what I'm looking for is a shadow to kind of place underneath this film strip so that it will like come up off of the page. And that one is okay, but I want one with more of a straight edge to it. More like this. Yes, this is perfect. So anyway, so now I'm just going to resize this shadow. Okay, resize it so it's right here. And now I'm going to position it. I'm going to push it to bring it back one. So, okay, so just push it backwards, and once you have it in place, I would again lock it. So now you're kind of giving that gradient. I'm actually going to move it in just a little bit more like that. Okay, so now that we have the shadow created there, let's work on the text. So to get the text going, just click on text and just add whatever standard text is sitting there. And we're going to type it in. So this is a spring fever event. So that's what we're going to type here. Spring fever event. And we see that this is all caps. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to click the uppercase button and it automatically makes things capitalized for you. All right, so the text that I'm using is called the seasons. So I'm just going to click on this drop down and I'll just type that in, the seasons, and you'll see it pop up here. And the font size for this is 52. So we're going to change that as well. And then we're going to change the color to that yellow. And we're good. So we have that the right size. And I think I bolded it. Yes, I did. And I think I actually used this yellow. Feels like I used this yellow. Looks a little brighter. So anyway, here we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this font. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to add some text and drag this over. And we're going to type in 30, put the dash in. And so this font is called Garrett Extra Bold. So that's what we're going to do. And it's at a 114 font size. So let's search for that. Garrett. And here it is, extra bold. And we said it was at 114. Here we go. All right, so we have that down. Now I'm just going to duplicate this. So I'm going to Command C or Control C if you're on a Windows machine. I'm on a Mac. Then just type in the 50. And let's look at the size. That's 244. So make that 244 as well. Okay. So we'll put this in place. All right, so I'm feeling good about that so far. All right, and then we are going to do the what is this? Why did I just lose my words? We're going to do the percentage sign. Oh my God, I just had a major brain fart. So let's do the percentage sign, and it looks like I had that at 152. So we'll change that here to 152. All right, then we'll move that here. All right, and then off is in 68. So right now I'm just going to copy it for the sake of this video, so it's not taking forever. I'm just going to copy that in place, but all you got to do is just type the word off. All right, so we have these in place now. So I'm going to select all this font. And what I did was just drag my cursor over all the elements I wanted to select so that they're all together, they're all one thing. I don't have to move everything piece by piece. All right, so it looks like I pretty much have it in the right, place. So cool. And I'm looking here, this is the entire site, it's 65. So let's copy the entire site, exclamation, just drag that out to get it on my line, hit the uppercase option, and this was 65. All right, so add that under there. All right, so things are coming along. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is prices as marked. So we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna copy this and type prices as marked. No code needed. Okay, drag this out to one line. I'm going to change the text. So this is Garrett Book, which is a thinner font than the other Garrett. The reason why I'm doing this, and just to give you guys tips on font pairing, I've mentioned this in other videos, generally you really kind of don't want to do more than 2 to 3 font types in the same graphic, whether it's a flyer or whatever. And if you use different fonts, like for instance, this one, it's the same font, it's just different thickness, right? So it's still the same font. So this one I had it down to 25. So let's get this down to 25 as well. So it looks very cohesive and it doesn't look like cluttery because it's literally the same font. It's just in a different size or it might be bolded or whatever. All right, so now that we have that, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just copy this again and type new arrivals. And I'm going to drag these handles in. Try to keep your handles pretty close to the text so it's not overlapping stuff and making it hard for you to click on other things. I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, so we have new arrivals. And all I'm going to do to get this black box is go back into elements, clear this out, go to shapes, and just click on the square. And I'm going to make this square black. And let me click on new arrivals and make it white. There we go. So now let's resize it down and bring that like that and about like that. And bring it pretty tight to the text. And I want them thicker width-wise. More like this. I feel like that's pretty close. But I do feel like the text here, is this 25? This one is 21. All right, and we're going to center that. Okay, great. All right, so we have that pretty cool. Select both of them. We're going to click on group. That way, if we need to move this button around, we don't have to move the text and the box again. All right, so the next thing is this lovely circle. So we just come over here and click on the circle. We'll resize it and bring it down here. And we are going to change the color to that lovely pink. And we are going to go back to elements. And we're going to search for round shadow. Okay, and I grabbed this one. This lovely shadow here. And just made it slightly larger. I'm going to offset it a little bit. And I'm going to push it backwards. Here we go. And I'm just going to bring it in just a little bit. Bring it in a teach like that. And now that I like that, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag to highlight both of them. I'm going to group them together. All right, so I have them grouped and I'm actually going to lock it into place. All right, so now I'm going to add some more text. And I'm going to add this text this time, or this font this time. This the entire site part. And copy it and then just resize it. And this was down to 17. So do the same thing, 17. And this says hundreds of new arrivals. I'm just going to squish this in like that. That way you can just pop it right here in the middle. And yeah, so we have our text on this side pretty much done. You can play around with it a little bit with the where it's sitting, but it looks pretty good where it's at. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add one more piece of text, and it is the text here. I'm going to just copy this and paste, and we're going to do the so fresh, so new. So fresh, so new. Okay, put this all in one, and this font was 24. So we'll change this to 24 as well. And we also made this font that nice yellow and cool. And now we're going to add an effect, and we're going to add the curve effect to this. And we're going to widen it a little bit so it's not such a hard curve and bring it over here. All right, so we pretty much have this banner built. Now that we have the banner built and we have all the stuff in place that we want, we're going to unlock the frame, and we're going to unlock this grid. All right, so go to wherever you have your photos uploaded and drag your photos into place. So I have these pictures that I created, and I'm just going to drag them in. So this one, I put it here. I'm going to double click on it. I want to just move it to where I want it on the page. And this is about right here. And I'm going to move this up a little bit higher so it's on the blue. So we have that model in place. And then I'm going to use this model on the bottom. So I'm going to drag her into that frame, double click, and then just drag her into the place I want her to be. You can also resize by dragging the handle, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to just put her right in here where I like, and I think that looks pretty good. And the other picture I'm using is this one, where the model is in front of this palace. And I'm going to double click here and make her larger and center her here. Maybe make it a little slightly bigger. Okay, so I think I'm good there. So boom, so that's that banner. We've done that. So let's do the second design. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a page here. And so we're gonna literally do the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna copy. So I'm gonna unlock this gradient, I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna paste it, okay? I'm gonna drag it to this side. And yeah, I'm gonna drag it here, and I'm gonna slightly change the gradient. Let me click on how I had it here. Yeah, I'm gonna slightly change the gradient, and I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller also. I'm gonna bring it in about here. And I'm gonna change the color as well. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna click on this one so I can grab that color that I'm using. And yeah, it's this orange here. All right, so now that I have that in place, I'm gonna lock it. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to get another grid. And so I'm gonna just clear out elements and come down the grid, grab the grid, and move the grid to line it up about here. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I need to move this grid over and move it to the front. Okay, here we go. So I have the grid about right here. Okay, so right now, I'm just gonna lock that grid for right now. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm in elements again. I'm gonna search for like a rip, like a paper rip. Okay, and I do believe I used this one. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it around so that it will cover up this seam right here. Now, I'm just designing this based on what I want to do, and I am using some pro features and some are not. So you can do any of this free. You come up here and you just edit out by price and just click on free. You will only see the stuff that is free to you, and you can use the free options. And like this tear is free, this paper rip is free. And you can do that with anything that you're seeing me do at this point. But if you do want to use the pro features, I have a link in my description, and you can get Canva Pro for free for 30 days to test it out to see if you like it. And I'm pretty sure you will. It's a very cool tool. All right, so we have our nice little rip here. Cool. And then we're kind of doing the same thing when it comes to the text. It's the same thing. We're just going to write everything out, size everything. The other thing I'm going to do here is add this little picture frame here. So I'm going to come back into elements again. As you can see, this like one of the main areas you're going to be in. Come into frames, and then you're going to search for film again. And so I'm looking for the one that's more of a rectangle with a white outline for film. I believe it's this one. Yes, it is. It is. So we'll do this, put it on an angle, make it larger. I think this is it. Yeah, make it larger. Whatever size you like. Have it about here. Yeah, have it about here. And for right now, I'm going to lock it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab that shadow. And being that I recently used the shadow, it should actually be here and recently used. So yeah, if there's stuff that you used like in the current design, you want to use it again somewhere else, it should be in this area here. So I'm just going to put this at a same angle, and I'm going to resize it so it works for this. All right, and I'm going to position it backwards and just bring it in some and make it slightly larger. Nothing too crazy. All right, cool. And I like where that's at. I'm gonna lock it in place. So now we have that shadow. We're good. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna put down the text. I'm just gonna copy it and paste it down. It's literally the same process that I've done before. So I'm not gonna do all of this. Again, lock this. I'm gonna drag all of this. And And I'm going to drag all this in place because this is literally the same process I use up there. It's just putting the fonts in place and copying the text down. And so now that we have these things in place, I'm going to unlock this and I'm going to unlock the back grid. And now it's just a matter of going into your uploaded photos and putting your pictures in place. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to double click. I'm going to drag her over, get her positioned where I think she'll work well. I'm going to drag this one over here and put her in the position and make her much larger and put her in a place here. Yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. So that's how you make these banners. And now I'm actually looking at this. Let me unlock this. You see how that just happened? That rip is trying to go into that grid. Let me undo that real quick. Let me lock my grid down and move this element over so that it covers this up and make this slightly smaller. There we go. So there, unlock it. All right, so that's it, y'all. This is how you make these banners. At first I was going to voice over this. I decided not to, so you guys can really see everything that's going on. But hopefully, like, you've learned some stuff from this, and you can really look at any banners from any websites that you go to get inspiration and kind of deconstruct each component and break down what they've done. But yeah, hopefully you guys have found this tutorial helpful. If you are interested in purchasing any kind of web banners, I have a pretty big selection in my store. The link is listed below. At Canva 30-day free is below. Also, if you are wanting to learn how to fake your photo shoot, again, I'm going to link that in the description box below. And as always, if you guys have any requests, let me know in the comment section and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye.